welcome back to the channel. We are here for another book review, and we are doing Kane Chronicles Book 2, Throne of Fire. So, after the events of the first book, Carter and Sadie have now taken command of their gnome and started teaching other people with the blood of the pharaohs to channel the power of the Egyptian gods. Between the time skip from the first and second book, Apophis has weakened his prison enough and he's ready to burst out. With Apophis ready to burst out of his prison, this forces Carter and Sadie to go on a dangerous journey to find the three parts of the Book of Ra. They need to use those scrolls to restore the three aspects of Ra: Khnum, and Khepri. To complete the quest, they have to go into the Duat and recreate Ra's nightly journey. Along the way, they are actually being hunted down by a new threat from the House of Life named Vlad Menshikov. It all culminates in a giant battle in front of Apophis's prison between Carter, Sadie, Desjardins against Vlad Menshikov. So, my first real con with this book is actually Vlad Menshikov. It's not him as a character himself, it's how Riordan really uses him in the story. So, the first time we get to meet Vlad Menshikov is actually in a vision Sadie has. The first time we actually physically get to meet Vlad Menshikov is after the Kanes have stolen the second part of the Book of Ra from his house in St. Petersburg. The next time we physically see Vlad Menshikov is actually at Zia's tomb. And it's not until the Zia's tomb thing that Vlad Menshikov actually becomes the main villain of this book. So my real main problem with Vlad Menshikov is we don't actually physically get to meet him until fairly late in the story. He isn't really even relevant until the last third of the story. So, personally to me, I think if Riordan wanted to make Vlad Menshikov a better villain, he should have introed him earlier and had him more involved in the story. My second real con of the book actually comes from Sadie, and it's how much Rick Riordan starts to focus on the love triangle between her, Anubis, and Walt. I don't necessarily mind a love triangle in general, but it's how much Rick Riordan pushes the love triangle as a key part of Sadie's plot within this book. Because with so much of Sadie's story focused on the love triangle thing, it really does take away a lot from her parts of the story. So, the first pro of this book for me is the opening battle. It gives you a really good sense of how Carter and Sadie has developed, and it also gives you a good sense of the other initiates. So, the other reason I really like this battle is it actually ups the stakes from the last book. And we see a lot of this when Carter and Sadie are doing things that they weren't able to do in the last book without the assistance of their powers from Isis and Horus. Second pro, as always, with the Rick Riordan books is the mythology. In Throne of Fire, he keeps it still simple like he did with Red Pyramid, but he expands on it. And just like with Red Pyramid, he's still able to, in Throne of Fire, keep the mythology part of the story without letting it overwhelm the character development. The final pro of this book is actually the new character we get introduced to, Bes, the Egyptian dwarf god. The main reason Bes is on this list is because he is absolutely hilarious to read throughout the book. And actually, Bes goes through a really good character arc, particularly in this book, while we get his backstory while we're in St. Petersburg. As we're reading his backstory, you really start to feel for the guy. His interactions with Tawaret, the Hippo Goddess, while they're in Sunny Acres, is some of the funniest stuff in the book. Final thoughts on the book here. It's still a really good entry in the Kane Chronicles, but I wouldn't put it above Red Pyramid. Because, like I said in my cons section, Riordan starts to focus too much on the Sadie, Walt, and Anubis love triangle for me personally. And second, Vlad Menshikov, the villain, really doesn't work for me personally. Final rating on this book is going to be a 6 out of 10. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell so you can get notified when I drop my next video. Next video, we will finally be finishing the Kane Chronicles with Kane Chronicles Book 3, Serpent's Shadow. If you have any book recommendations you want me to check out, drop them down in the comments. Also, follow me on social media if you want to see more of my process and get any new information about the videos that I'm making.